In this world, the karma is identifying the material objects to be their goal of life. They continuously contemplate on them and develop hankering for them, develop attachment to them, chase after them, struggle hard to attain them. After attaining them, fear losing them. Or after attaining them, feel proud of having attained those material attachments. Only to be stripped off at the time of death of all the attachments that they acquired. Therefore, the reference point for the karma is material attachments. Dhanam, janam, sundarim. Their whole life goes in acquiring and enjoying and losing and ultimately transported to another body in this world, again to chase after the mirage of material illusions. So the reference point is material attachments. If you take the jnanis, for them also the reference point is material attachment, but they are afraid of material attachments because previously they enjoyed and got frustrated. Now they are constantly developing aversion towards them, trying to run away from them, fear them, develop phobias about them, and make all arrangements to go to the jungle and do meditation and voluntarily dry their bodies by reducing their eating and reducing their utilization of material commodities, and somehow hope and pray that they will be able to develop the detachment from the material objects, and therefore by doing so they are aspiring to attain the 0-0 Brahman platform, from where they can avoid suffering the threefold miseries of the material world or the fourfold problems of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Therefore, for the jnanis and yogis also the reference point is material attachments, from which they are developing aversion and keeping away from. So the karmis or jnana yogis, the reference point is just material attachment. They are oblivious to the sweetness and beauty of the Supreme Lord. On the other hand, if you see the bhaktas, their object of meditation is Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, activities, which are vividly described in great literature like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas. So their whole attention is elevated and fixed on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, they relish the joy of Lord's qualities, His behavior, His activities, His sublime nature, transcendental nature. And having heard such nice description, they develop attachment to the Supreme Lord. As Krishna himself says in the 7th chapter of Gita, Maya saktamana partha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshayam samagram mam yata ajñasyasi tachrunu. Arjuna, hear from me. When you hear about me, from me, you will develop attachment for me. And having become oblivious to the material attachments, the devotees of Krishna neither feel attraction nor feel aversion towards them. They have cast it far away, and their whole attention and absorption is on Krishna's lotus feet. Because Krishna is free from defects, and Krishna is free from the 4 defects, Krishna is also not relative but he is absolute. Krishna is also not changeable or perishable. He is eternal, everlasting, ever-existing, imperishable, absolute truth, who has no equal, to whom there is no one superior. Having obtained that vastava vastu, or the real reality, devotees don't hanker, rather they become deeply satisfied, deeply joyful. And when they hanker for Krishna. The more you hanker for the supreme spiritual object, Krishna, the more it increases your spiritual bliss. And even in case occasionally a devotee of the Lord, due to old vasanas, turns back towards the old material attachments for a short period of time, they quickly repent and lament. And that lamentation is also in relation to Krishna. My dear Lord, you are so beautiful, I am so foolish. Instead of becoming attracted to you, I am becoming attracted to the petty, glittering material objects of this world. So in this way, even sometimes slipping and falling in spiritual life because of the allurement of material objects, that induces them to repent and perform penance to develop more hankering and more attachment to Krishna only. So therefore, the reference object for the devotees is Krishna. And Krishna also has given assurance for such devotees. Na vai jano jatu katanchana vrajen mukunda sevyan javadanga samsritim smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punar vihatumichhe narasagraho janaha. He is telling in this verse, if one has become a devotee of Lord Mukunda, Mukunda Sevi means he has become a sevak of Krishna. He dressed Krishna's deity, or he offered bhoga to Krishna, or he sang and danced before Krishna, or he preached the glories of Krishna, he made garland for Krishna, he cooked bhoga for Krishna. Some service he has been doing. And because of coming in contact with the beautiful form of Krishna and his holy names and fame and deity, a devotee develops that affinity, a deep affection and attachment, which goes deep into the heart of the devotee. That even if a devotee, due to some external allurement, turns away from Krishna momentarily, that old tastes, rasagraho jana means he has become a rasagraha, he has tasted some droplets of bliss in Krishna's service. That blissful thoughts again attack the mind of the devotee and pull him back to the lotus feet of Krishna. Which means the remembrance of Krishna is so wonderful that even a deviated devotee returns back to Krishna's lotus feet. That assurance is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore Krishna says, Svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. He says, when a devotee has done even little bit of devotional service, that is taken seriously by the Lord, and Lord blesses the devotee to stay fixed in his lotus feet, or even if the devotee is distracted and deviated a little bit, Lord pulls the devotee back by the droplets of spiritual bliss that he awards him in his service. So therefore, you can clearly see the reference point for jnanis, yogis, karmis is all material objects of dhanam, janam, sundarim. Whereas for a devotee, nadanam, najanam, na sundarim. Lord Chaitanya says, but my only fixity, Lord Chaitanya says, is, birth after birth I want to serve your lotus feet. So, in this way one can see the superiority of Bhakti Yoga over all other paths in the path of Yasadaka, who endeavors by various different routes in this world. So therefore the chanting of the holy name should be done very confidently, joyfully, in a focused manner, knowing well that there is nothing to lose for a devotee in this path of Bhakti Yoga. It's an imperishable path, it is joyfully performed, and it takes one to the vicinity of Krishna's lotus feet and engages a devotee eternally in loving service to Supreme Lord Krishna. Harinam Prabhu ki. Let us offer our humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desert trees, who are ocean of mercy, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnava vrindaki Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki